Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Weather Sim forecast. And in today's forecast, we're going to be talking about a very big change that's going to be coming to the United States over the next few weeks. And this is going to be a huge problem, as not only have we just seen La Nina kick on in, which I don't know if you guys heard that on the news yet, but for how long these water temperatures have been staying below average, we are now officially in a weak La Nina, which is going to change the weather a ton by the time we head into the next few weeks. And we also really got to watch the second severe weather season very closely, which, by the way, that's in the fall if you guys didn't know. And it's not necessarily as active compared to the spring severe weather season, but there is still, a lot of problems that can be seen during the severe weather season as well, even though it might not be nearly as active. So we are going to need to watch it very closely, as models do want to show the return of that by the time we head into the middle and especially the end of October. And we even have some other storm systems that will be taking place as well, which not only look to bring some colder air on in, especially out west and even into parts of the eastern United States eventually, but we even got another storm system out on the east coast, which is currently bringing some nor'easter-like conditions with some flood watches, even some high wind warnings in effect as of right now. So that will be something to watch for over the next few days, as we are going to continue to see those impacts along the east coast. But before we get to that, one thing that I just want to say is I do apologize for not being able to do a video during the last few days. I was really hoping that I would be able to get a video done soon, but I just didn't know when I would have time for it. But I am back now to keeping you guys up to date, and this is probably a good time frame to do a video, since like I said, we are seeing this big change. So I do still consider you guys turn on all notifications, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a like down below, as I still try my best to do a video. Now let's first start off by talking about the hazards. You guys can see that we are currently seeing a lot of warnings currently in effect. We got some winter storm warnings in effect for areas of the Sierra Nevadas, and we even got some winter weather advisories and warnings in effect for Montana, even parts there of Idaho, Washington, and Oregon, especially the Cascades. And then, like I said, we do have those flood alerts currently in effect along the coast, and we even got some isolated areas of wind advisories or even some high wind warnings in effect too, as some of those winds are really starting to pick up with how that storm system is coming together. And then we also got another area to watch for, especially up here in the Dakotas, as we are also seeing those winds pick up there too, and even back over there towards parts there of Michigan. So that will be something to watch for over the next few days. The next thing that I want to show you guys is that we are looking at the return of severe weather as we head into the end of this month. Now that doesn't mean it's going to be like an emergency situation, which in my opinion I don't think it will be anything that bad, but we will still be seeing the return of severe weather by the time we head into the later half of October. You can see that by the time we head into October 19th, during the overnight hours and even through the morning hours on October 19th, you can see that we really start to see this energy start to pick up. Now, it's not a lot of energy, because you can see how it's only about 200, 400, even 600 joules per kilogram in some areas, which doesn't really indicate a lot, but in general, since it is fall, this usually is a pretty big indication of severe weather. And you guys can also see with your dew points how we are going to really start to see that moisture pick up across this area by the time we head into that time frame. You guys can see that on October 19th, almost during the exactly same time, we also see that moisture pick up. Look at that, even mid 60 dew points possible, even as far north as Michigan, which in general, that's not like super humid, but it is definitely humid for you guys up there, as we would usually tend to be a little little bit drier this time of year, but we still will need to be watching this as we will be seeing that big surge of moisture once again. And you guys can actually kind of see how that does line up pretty good with that cold front that will be rolling on through. You guys can just see that big cutoff of the moisture. You're going from about 60-degree dew points all the way down to lower 40-degree dew points once you cross from, let's say, Little Rock, Arkansas, all the way back over there into Oklahoma City. So that's a pretty big cutoff of that moisture, and that's not to say that there's a problem with that, but I'm mainly just trying to show you guys that there is indeed a cold front right there, which will be something to watch closely as we will continue to see those dew points even surge eastward. And not only do we need energy and moisture, but you can see that when we also look at the jet stream. Just look at this, guys. The jet stream is pretty much the main reason why this is going to be a La Nina-like pattern. Just look at that big dip in the jet stream right there. Look at that. We're talking huge winds across the higher parts of the atmosphere, and you guys can see that when we get lower. Just look at that big dip in the jet stream right there, just looking significantly strong. And you guys can see that, look at that, we just continue to see those winds even pick up. And once again, this is on October 19th when we will be looking at the potential for severe weather. And look at that, even the very lower parts of the atmosphere still have strong winds too. So with that strong of winds across every single part of the atmosphere, you're talking about like from the top to the bottom of the storm rotating, which will indeed bring chances for tornadoes during that time, or at least are looking favorable for tornadoes. And not just that, you guys can also see that when we look at Colorado State University, it also does want to show a little bit of a change in terms of severe weather by the time we head into the later part of this week, and especially the beginning of next week on October 19th, like what I was saying. Now, it doesn't mean there will be severe weather, but there is at least that chance we could see it return. So that is something that we're definitely going to need to watch very closely, since some of these storm systems might even bring more severe weather as we head into November. And not just that, and this is crazy, by the way, because with winds being that strong in the higher parts of the atmosphere, even down here on the surface is going to be pretty windy too. You guys can see that the latest from the models do want to show, especially the European, I should say, want to show winds between 30 to 40 miles per hour widespread, with even some isolated wind gusts, especially in eastern Kentucky, of up to 40, maybe even some isolated 50 mile per hour winds still possible. And really winds up to 40 miles per hour are possible anywhere across the eastern United States. And you guys can see that it just continues even as we head into October 20th, and look at that, October 21st, and you guys can see that we might even get another big wind event as we head into October 21st, and we might even get even more after that. But the main one that we'll be watching for, at least for right now, is going to be this one right here on October 19th, which is still a little far out from now. We are still looking about 7-8 days out. But the thing to keep in mind, though, is that it is definitely looking concerning, especially since the other models are showing this too. So we really recommend you guys get ready, as this is really going to be more of a La Nina-like pattern. Now, the other thing to look out for is going to be the change, like I said. And you guys can see that we will be seeing cooler temperatures out west and warmer than normal temperatures in the east. But keep in mind that you do need those warmer temperatures to get severe storms, high winds, and even other stuff ongoing too, which is one of the reasons why we'll likely be seeing that change anywhere from October 16th all the way to October 20th, which does include October 19th, like I said, which just to rephrase, October 19th is going to be when our next big storm system looks to hit, and that's why we are watching it closely. And once again, this warm air is going to be a big player in that, which also looks to bring even warmer than the normal temperatures, even by the time we head past that date. But for precipitation, however, look at that. We are looking at above normal precipitation during that time frame, and look at that, even continuing to stay above normal even by the time we head into Friday, October 24th at the latest. So we are gonna watch it closely, and like I said, this does not mean it's going to be like a big time dangerous pattern, but like I said, this is concerning to say the least, and I do think once we get closer, there is a chance that it could start to become more dangerous, especially if we start to see more of the models pick up on the things. But like I said, as of right now though, it's just looking like a very active, I would say almost your typical pattern in the fall, because it is second severe weather season, and we usually start to see those winds pick up this time of year as well. So it is kind of common that we do see this time of year, and we want you to keep that in mind since we are also in a La Nina. Now, the last thing I want to look at is precipitation. This is after us going over all those big storm systems, I should say, that we could see over the next week or so. And you guys can see that we do have that one, like I said, bringing rainfall totals between 3 to even as much as 5 inches of rain from Maine all the way back down there into the Carolinas. And then, like I said, we got that other storm system impacting areas of the Ohio, Tennessee River Valley, and even up there into the Great Lakes region, which does have that potential of bringing risk for tornadoes as we head into the later half of October. And then, like I said, we also do have some other rain systems that we'll be watching for. Look at that, even the higher elevations and even the lower elevations too, really looking like some good rain as we head throughout the rest of October. So we are going to watch it closely, like I said, as it is going to be a very, very active pattern overall. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a thumbs up, and also make sure to turn on all notifications so that way you guys don't miss out on any future video or live streams that we do here on this channel. And like I said, guys, I am really trying my hardest to keep you guys up to date with the latest, but like I said, I do also have a lot of stuff to do too, so I will likely have a video at some point this week, but I can't guarantee you when I'll have one, so just keep that in mind. And like I said, if you guys don't want to miss out on that next one, please turn on all notifications, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend out there, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.